Are you a real estate agent, or maybe you own a business and you're thinking of starting a Facebook group to grow your business and to get leads? Well, stop the scroll, because you're not going to want to miss my top 5 mistakes I see whenever I'm helping coach someone on starting a Facebook group. Hi, my name is Griffin. I'm a top-selling real estate agent and real estate coach, and I help real estate agents start and grow their Facebook group to leverage it to get leads in their business. But so often when real estate agents or business owners come to me about their Facebook group saying, I've started a group and I really don't know what to do with it, or it hasn't done what I thought it would, I say, let's stop and let's do an audit. And I'm going to share with you the top 5 mistakes that I see people make when they start a Facebook group. And you don't want to miss the last one, because it is the most critical one that I see made all the time. So number 5 is the type of group that they start. They don't have a plan. What type of group are we doing? What's going to be the theme? What's going to attract people to this group, right? So you need to figure out what type of a group. Are you going to do a community group? Are you going to do a mom's group? Are you going to do a neighborhood group? What type of group is it? Because that's really going to be almost like your niche. And you need a niche because, like they say, riches are in the niches. And if you're speaking to everyone, you're speaking to no one. So you really need to hone down on what type of group or niche you're going to start, because that's going to really form all the rest of the pieces that go into your group, with growing it, nurturing it, and creating content, and then getting leads from your group. So know what type of group that you're going to start. Number 4 is, I see people make mistakes with the settings. They don't have the right types of settings. They don't have it as private. They have it as public, not searchable. The settings are incorrect. They don't have certain categories in their groups for like rules and guides. And they don't have welcome videos, and they don't have rules. Nothing is set up. There's no description. There's nothing set up properly in the group, or maybe they have a few pieces, but they're missing all the other pieces. And let me tell you, when you can't find your group when you're searching on Facebook, how is everyone else going to find your group to join it? And if they're not attracted to your group because of your description or the guides or the things that you offer in your group, why are they going to join your group? And the purpose of your group, yes, is to build community, but the other purpose of your group is to drive leads to your business. But if you're repelling everybody and not attracting people to your Facebook group, why are they going to join, and how are you going to get leads? So this is one of the number 1 mistakes that I see people make. They are not attracting the right people because they don't have their settings and they don't have their group set up appropriately. The third mistake that I see people make all the time is they don't have a content plan. They started a group. Yay! People join. That is awesome. But then all of a sudden it's like, well, what do I do with this group? Or people are posting the wrong kinds of things and they're not following the rules. You set the tone. You are the mayor of your digital farm, digital community, Facebook group. You're not only the admin, but you are also the mayor of your community. So how do people learn what to post and what not to post? By what you post. So you decide what needs to go in your group. You need to have a content plan. You need to have pillars. You need to have a strategy. I have a content calendar. Everything is scheduled out, and I'm pre-plan it 2 months in advance. So in your Facebook group, you can schedule out everything 60 days in advance. So what am I doing? I'm creating a content calendar 60 days in advance. Once the calendar is done, the first 30 days has been completed, I start projecting out the next 60 days. So I'm always on top of it. And I have a mix of content. I have things that give back and give to my community. I have things to increase engagement, right? So if you're a real estate agent, one of the number 1 things you want to do is make sure you're increasing engagement, but you also want to have some post where you're learning things about your group and identifying your ideal client, your ICA, right? So my favorite post is, are you ready for it? If you could change one thing about your home, what's the one thing you would change about your house? Post in the comments below. And it's a gold mine, because people are always going to post, I'm having a baby, I've outgrown my home, my yard sucks, I hate my neighbor, my HOA, I don't like that, blah, blah, blah. All these things where you're gathering up data. So that way you can also create content and reels for your real estate business, but you can also reach out to those people. You can also look them up and data mine your group and start marketing to those people, because you know what? They're starting to have those buyer mindsets, and they're starting to have those conversations around thinking of moving. And you know, when people buy or sell a house, is what? When they have a life event. These people are starting to have life events. You need to get in front of them so they can use you. That's the purpose of your group, right? It's to build the know, like, and trust factor so that way you can get leads. So definitely have a content plan, have a strategy. And you want to know a secret? I recycle my content plan. I'm not always recreating the wheel. If something worked really well in March, it might get recycled in October. No shame in my game. But also I'll keep track of my analytics and look at my insights and see, and also find out, oh, that post really flopped. I may try it again, but usually I'll scrap it and refigure it, reword it, change the copy, something like that. If it didn't generate the kind of appeal in my group or the insights or the amount of attraction that I wanted. So have a content plan and stick to it and schedule everything out. Because if you're like me, you're busy, you have kids, you have work, you have all these things going on. You don't want to be scrambling into your group at 7:00 at night on a Wednesday, because that's when your insights say it's your busiest time in your group and you're trying to put a content post in there, okay? So schedule out your content, craft it, and monitor and see what's working and what's not working. And use it as a way of learning about your group to get in front of your ICA, because I guarantee you your ICA is in your group. So the number 2 place that I always see clients fail whenever I start coaching them on starting a Facebook group is they do not have a nurture system, right? So within my course, I teach you to collect the email addresses when people join your group. So often I see people, I did that. I saw your videos about how to do a group and I started collecting email addresses, but I don't know what to do with them now. That's okay. So you need to have a nurture system, right? So we teach in real estate, you're taught to have a database, right? And you're going to do a drip campaign to people. It's the same system. We just call it a nurture system because you're nurturing these people along because you don't know what part of the buying process they're in. And I've had some clients on my nurture system for my group for like 3 or 4 years. Like, I get your emails every week and I finally decided to buy and sell a house. And do you want to come help me? Absolutely. But what I didn't realize is they've been getting my stuff for 3 years. They weren't ready then. They weren't ready last year. But all of a sudden when they're ready, they go, Laura, that's the person I want to help me buy and sell a house. So your nurture system is really critical because you need to stay in front of them. So that time when they're starting to think about it and having those conversations in their household about wanting to buy or sell a home, you're the first person. And you know why they're the first person? Because you're in front of them constantly, right? So you data mine the group and maybe in front of people that are more on the tip of the buying or selling time in their life. But you also need to stay in front of the people that are maybe 1, 2, or 3 years down the road. You just never know when someone's going to buy or sell. And you never know when a life event could change the trajectory for their family. So you need to have a nurture system. I have an email that goes out weekly to everybody, and it's a little bit of a mix of content. There's some clout, some permission statements, some training in there, some local things. I kind of mix it up, and I'm going to tell you 2 little secrets. I am not the best writer. It is not my jam. It's not my zone of genius, right? So I hired a copywriter. She helped me write some of my emails. I also use ChatGPT and other AI services to help me write my emails. So it's not so scary. So you can leverage other people who are better at it than you are. But at the end of the day, you need to put the work in. So you need to stay in front of them with not only the content in the group, but content outside of the group with weekly emails. But I see so many times people are like, I have an email list, but I don't know what to send them. So content, and nurture them. Okay, so at the beginning of the video, I said this is the number 1 thing that I see people fall flat on all the time whenever they start a Facebook group. And you want to know what it is? The name. I know, the simplest thing, right? The name. So if you're starting a group and you're using it to generate leads in your business and you're a real estate agent or in the real estate industry, you want something hyper local, right? You want people in your area. You don't want people 200 miles away. Okay, so you need to name your group with your area. So you need to have your city, county, town name. If you have a large HOA that's maybe a few thousand homes, maybe you want to use that. But you need to have it. So you need to have, Sacramento Community Group, Dallas, Texas Moms Group, Loudoun County Moms Group, Northern, I saw something the other day. They were in an area, I think it was Chicago, like a Northern Chicago area community group. You need to have the name in your group for 2 reasons. Facebook is going to start recommending people that are local to you because it knows what zip codes that group services. The other reason is when people are relocating to your area, what's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to look up Loudoun County, Dallas, Texas, Sacramento, California, and they're going to look for groups for those communities and those areas. And you want to be the first one that they go to. So Make sure that you have the name of your town, city, county if it's big enough. I happen to use my county because it's a little bit bigger than some of these little towns. HOA or neighborhood in the name of your group. Because if you're not, you're leaving money on the table and you're not attracting your local community, which is what you want, and you're not attracting your ICA. So those are so critical. So let's break down the top 5 things. Number 1, the type of group, not identified, and you don't have a strategy around the type of group and attracting your ICA. Rules and settings, super duper important. It's got to be set up right. Number 3 is the content plan. You don't have one. Number 4 is you don't have a nurture system and you don't know what to send to people to get them on your nurture system. And number 5, the details are in the name. So make sure that your name is appropriate. If you're thinking about starting a Facebook group but not sure how, click on the link below and I've got a webinar that's got information on how to get you started. Or if you have a Facebook group, but you're like, I don't know what kind of content to post, below I've got my top 5 content posts guaranteed to generate sales for you. If you have any questions about starting a Facebook group, I'd love to be a resource for you. My contact information is linked below.